So I should probably go to bed right now, but we'll do an encore for just one more run. Just one more run. The side ponytail, didn't she? Where it's like coming out the side of her head? I don't know. Mercifully, I don't see the resemblance, but yeah, I can see how that would be tough to deal with. Although, unless it's one of the newer designs. I know they dramatically redesigned a lot of the Pokemon characters now for the new generation, so maybe the new Misty looks completely different from the old one. I know I caught a look at the new Sabrina at some point, and yeah, she's completely different from before. I don't like the new Sabrina design at all. Was Sabrina her name? The ghost lady. What's a layev? Oh, it's garbage. You know what? I'm just gonna build up a big inventory full of garbage, and then we'll do a barong feeding run. We'll waste less time that way. Actually, I believe there's a trick you can do where you can get copper coins into your inventory if you want to. I think it's something like this. So you do the stutter step to get onto them, you go at your feet, and you pick them up, and now I've got copper coins in my inventory. So yeah, we're just gonna make a big inventory full of those, and then I'll feed them all to my barong. It even tells you the value of them, too. Seriously? Was that the entire floor? Oh, apparently I missed whatever's over here. Oh, that's fine. This is one of the few floors where you can actually dive into the left and right sections of the exit room. You know what? We can feed that to Barong too. Yeah, we got a bunch of garbage to feed to Barong here. This is like a roguelike mystery dungeon style game, so there is no party. The girls are back home in the kitchen and whatnot where they belong. Or I guess a few of them are out working. Most of them are out. Most of them have jobs, actually. It's just, Selfie and Nico and Mia are all freeloaders. And actually, Selfie does explore the tower. That's where you meet her. Is up doing tower runs. She just, I don't know, decides to not do it anymore after you start dating her. Yeah, let's just, do some barong feeding right here. As long as we can trade all this garbage up for even marginally useful items, I'll be fine with that. Starting with this mess. Oh, I guess he's standing on it. Oh, what was that? Trap. Not especially useful. That, on the other hand, so that's a keeper. What else do we have that we don't want here? Lev is garbage. Oh, no, it isn't. We could have fed that to him to get some more feeding out of him. Shoot. Yes, weirdly enough, I know exactly what you're talking about. yeah, this is kind of that style of game. Only the floors here are randomly generated, rather than fixed. Pretty sure it was, yeah, just fixed dungeon design in Urhe's. What a weird fucking game that was. You don't even use the main fighters in the dungeon mode in that game either. The characters and just the gameplay are completely different when you go into the dungeon mode. Oh wow, he has even less health than I thought. Creeping up on 20 wins here. You know, what we're really here for is not so much the big money items anymore, but for eggs. And what we especially want are the upper floor eggs. So I think what we're going to do is I'm actually going to bring up my familiar to speed through these lower floors, and we're just going to dive like crazy. Yeah, I don't think I ever actually completed the dungeon either. I got all the, like, the content out of the main fighting mode. But yeah, that's about it. What a weird game, though. Like, the only reason anyone ever gave a shit about that game was either for the Final Fantasy VII characters or for the dungeon mode. And man, what a missed opportunity it was that you can't actually play the main, like, fighting game characters in the dungeon mode. Like, who gives a shit about stupid... What was it? I can't remember who the guy was, but there was the hat lady back. I think it was what, hat lady with the basically sports bra that she wears, and that's basically it. Like, how cool would it have been if you could play as you know, Sephiroth and Cloud and Tifa, and I think Yuffie was in that game too, or whatever generic crappy character you like from the main Urhe's cast. I can't even remember the actual Urhe's characters either. Like, I know the game had its own cast of characters, but I completely forget who all of them were. I remember the dog. He was like the final boss character. He wasn't Red 13, even though he looked at him. I know people said, oh, Red 13's in it too, and he's the final boss or whatever. The dog in that game is not Red 13. He has a completely different name and everything. Django, that was it, yeah. And then you get like a secret ending by throwing swords at him or something. Man, I'm legitimately struggling to remember who the other characters were in Urhe's, the non-Final Fantasy ones. There was a generic wrestler-type dude, or like a sumo wrestler. There was a guy with a metal arm. He was kind of the mascot character, or like the main dude who was on the box. There was a dude, he had like a robot leg or something, I want to say, or like armor on his leg. There was Yo-Yo Girl, there was Yo-Yo Cop Girl. You'd think I'd at least remember the female characters. I'm sure there were at least a couple good female characters, but no. All I remember is Yo-Yo Cop Girl and, yeah, training, sports bra hat girl. Yeah, that's right, he had like a missile launcher inside his robot knee or something ridiculous like that. So this floor certainly exists, technically. Yep. That was, what was that? Floor 3, was it? The funny thing about this floor is that it's actually too small to give the monsters enough space to respawn, so if we kill these guys, there will never be any more monsters on this floor. Not that it matters, because we're not sticking around to fight these guys. Why do I always get these shitty fucking floor starts here? Do I even have anything to deal with this? We're just gonna bring out the familiar. Man, I really wish you could set up your AI before bringing out the familiar. Okay, now that we got them properly lined up, I think we're gonna do it this way. So the floors are still easy. I know I said I'd bring them out and use them all the way, but the floors are still easy enough that I can kind of just fight, just have an easy time of it. Man, you know, I saw Little Nicky back in the day, but I don't remember that reference. I don't remember Mr. Beefy from Little Nicky. I used to like that movie, too. Hell, I can't even say for sure that I wouldn't still if I watched it again. Yep. Popeye's chicken is the shiznit! Which it isn't, by the way. We've got a Popeye's chicken here in the city now, and it's awful. It's like shitty KFC that's even greasier and without the secret blend of herbs and spices. It's just bland, greasy chicken. I don't know, maybe it's different in some places. I know sometimes you just get bad luck with those, yeah, with some franchises sometimes. Like, I went to, I can't remember where I was. I was on the road with my parents at some point, and we stopped at a Mr. Sub in some, small, like, stopover town at some point along the way, and it was like the worst Mr. Sub I'd ever seen. Like, or that I had ever been to. The sandwich was just terrible. They put wrong amounts of stuff on things, so the ingredients weren't fresh or anything like that. It was just, yeah, the worst sandwich I'd ever seen. And if that was, like, the only Mr. Sub, Mr. Sub is my go-to sandwich chain of choice. Way better than frickin' Subway. Which, honestly, I like to begin with. You know what? Yeah, I said we were gonna do, Mandara times once Bloom started showing up, so here we are. Why is the standby trick not working anymore? Magic up in here. Yeah, the frickin' Enertron and Chrono Trigger. That would honestly be the ultimate just sci-fi device. Imagine how much the world would change if you didn't need to sleep for 6 to 8 hours a day or whatever it is. More like 10 or 11 in my case. It's like the holy grail of technology, I think. I can scarcely imagine a just like a feasible, like, technological bit of, like, a feasible bit of sci-fi technology that would do more to impact the world than the Enertron. You know, honestly, I never got why, or I guess the reason why I never got the whole dome thing when it comes to science fiction. Like, why do people always live in domes in the future? And I guess it's to make it, A, so that you can control the weather better, and B, because you fucked up the environment so badly that, yeah, just the air is not fit to breathe outside of the dome. So it's almost like a dystopian future type thing when you see cities in domes. I wonder if that's something that people are working on anyways. Like, I know there's kind of the big thing that people are working on in the medical field is how to reverse or not reverse the aging process, but to slow it down, to extend just the human lifespan in general. And I think that solving the sleep problem, like get it having an Enertron-like device that would make it so that you don't have to sleep anymore, would be pretty much effectively the same thing as extending your lifespan. Like, you have an extra, like, yeah, 30% of your day to do whatever you want. Because, yeah, you're wasting that time sleeping otherwise. You're not doing anything productive there. So, like, if you just had an extra 6 to 8 hours a day to do whatever, it would just, like, revolutionize everything. It would be effectively the equivalent of, like, increasing your lifespan by, like, by a third. Oh yeah, it was like a hey, play video games every day type thing, and also smoke weed. You know, what am I running away from this chump for? Yeah, I've kind of wondered if, I don't know, if just consciousness is an entirely different type of experience for some people. Like, for example, one thing I have difficulty with is I have no, like, visual component to my thoughts, really. Like, I can't really close my eyes and see an image. I can't conjure images to my mind at all, really. I think that's part of the reason why it's so difficult for me to remember people's faces after I've met them. It probably makes me seem like a massive prick that I can just never remember the people I've met before when I meet them for the second time, but that's just how it is for me. And I wonder if that just has anything to do with the way that I can't conjure images in my head. But conversely, I hear voices, and I hear my own internal monologue inside my head all the time. And it might be for some people it's the opposite, where it's like they think strictly in pictures and not in words. I remember there was like a fake study that was being circulated around the internet that's just recently, actually, like a few months ago, where there was supposedly a scientific study that proved that like a large percentage of people on Earth are just not conscious in the way that we think of it. Like, they have no internal monologue. They do not think in words whatsoever, which ended up being a bullshit story and a total misreading of the actual study. But it was kind of an interesting notion. Like, do different types of people actually have an entirely different sort of conscious experience, or just yeah, in terms of their internal consciousness or whatever. You wouldn't even know, really, just to meet them. Just to, yeah, meet and talk to people. Have no idea what's going on inside their head, whether it's similar to you or not. Personally, I've always liked, not exactly the blank slate notion, but the notion that we're all similar enough that we'll say, conscious experiences of other people are generally accessible to everyone if you are willing to take the time to kind of stretch yourself. The most common way that manifests itself here on stream is the way that I try to... my general philosophy is that if anybody likes a particular type of video game, I can learn to like that game the same way if I just kind of stretch myself a little bit. Like, if person says that video game X is awesome and I think that it's bullshit, if I can just train myself to think like that other person, I can learn to think in that same way, to approach the game with that same mindset, that where this game is awesome as opposed to bullshit. Oh yes, there is actually a reason why I do things this way. Incidentally, when you were talking about the HUD there, that reminded me that I forgot to flip over my artwork because we were just playing generic PlayStation games earlier. There, now we got our Azure Dreams artwork up here. Now it's a proper Azure Dreams stream. Anyways, as far as the layout, the reason why we have it pushed off to the side there is because it gives you better camera coverage, because the default HUD covers up a larger portion of your of just what's ahead of you on the camera. Like if we go like this, then yeah, that's just more screen real estate, where typically you see monsters coming at you from the top of the screen. That's because of the way the camera angles work. That's the best way to get long vision down a hallway, is to rotate the camera so that you can see in that area that it's occupying there. So now this leaves the camera clear for me to see further ahead. Oh hey, we can feed that to Barong. I'm actually gonna feed him that shield. I shouldn't have fed him the shield. That might have been cursed and worth a lot of money. Hey! That's something. I should probably save that for my actual useful familiar that we're using to clear the dungeon, but hey, here we are now. I can actually use that right now. Do I have any good balls to use it on? That is the shittiest flame ball I have ever seen. Holy damn. Oh yeah, fire crystal. Fire crystal is marginally useful. Oh yeah, for some reason I thought these were all star glasses. We absolutely don't need a billion different truth glasses. Did he seriously just swallow truth glasses and spit up truth glasses? Getting closer. So once we get like 5 more of those, our trained wand will be as good as our Seraphim sword. So how much music do they have in this game? So you get new music every 5 tower floors, and there's 40 floors, so that's 8 different tower variations. And then you've got the town theme, and there's also a bunch of different variations of that, depending on how many buildings you've made. There's a lot of music, not a ton of music, maybe like about 20 pieces of music or so, I would estimate. Oh, hey there, Noli. Man, there's another one. I'm just constantly surprised that, yeah, every time I think I've met everyone in the Azure Dreams community, someone else finds their way over here. Glad you could stop by. Yeah, I've kind of made this game into kind of one of the main things that I do on... Not really the main thing. The main thing I do on my channel here is variety type stuff, where I'm just playing different types of games all the time. But this is the one that I go back to the most often. I guess you could say this is my main side project right now, as I want to get all the monsters in this game, because my monster knowledge is really lackluster. For as much as I've played this game, you would think I would know more about the monsters and their different special properties and stuff. But I don't, because I mostly just use Clown to win the game through Clown abuse. So I don't really know much about the other monsters, so we're kind of doing a monster run here so I can try out and discover what all the different monsters are capable of. So as far as boss themes in this game, there are no bosses. Because, yeah, this is like a pure roguelike, where the floors are all just randomly generated, so we don't have bosses. Or I guess the closest thing you have to boss themes would be the monster lair trap. That has unique music, which I think is the same music that plays for the final boss. And it is pretty badass sounding. I think the monster lair trap might be my favorite theme in the game, actually. Or no, favorite theme in the game is definitely the floor 30 to 35 music. So as far as teaching familiars spells with magic balls, that went about the way you would expect it. Which is that I accidentally used the ball that I wanted to use. I ended up spending all of those spell charges because I completely forgot that we were intending to save them to teach magic to our familiars. So we're kind of back to square one on that front. Yeah, I had 9 charges on that ice wall ball, and then I just completely forgot that we were using it. That we were going to charge it up to teach magic to our familiars, so it's just like, oh, I got a 9-charge ice wall ball here. Let's just use that to climb the tower a bunch. And we did, and it was a good run. But, yeah, now we're a long way away from being able to teach magic to our familiars. Yeah, sadly, occasionally when I do... if I'm just in the right kind of mood, I will mute the game audio. Or not the game audio. That's actually one of the nice things about this game, is you have separate sliders for sound effects and music. So what you can do is you can just turn the music off and play your own background music if you want to. And that's usually what I do if I'm in the right mood for a... Actually, here's what we're going to do. We're going to truth glasses on Ice Rock here, and if it has 8 charges... Ooh, that's actually pretty good. We can maybe build this up. I think it actually makes a difference. Actually, I noticed since I've got kind of 2 playlists that I use for my sort of Azure Dreams streams, where I play my own music instead of the game music. One playlist, which has given me no problems, is my video game jazz playlist, which basically just has a bunch of OC remixes and Japanese, just Toho jazz arrangements from various Japanese fan artists. And the other playlist I do is a bunch of vaporwave and future funk mixes from a YouTube channel called Kurd Tabata. Recently, though, those ones have been giving me grief, or he's been doing a lot of city pop lately, and those actually have been giving me copyright strikes on the YouTube VODs. Actually, a bunch of my Azure Dreams videos are now banned in Japan on YouTube, or blocked in Japan, I guess is the terminology they use. So yeah, apologies to my Japanese viewers out there. You can no longer watch some of my Azure Dreams videos on YouTube. Oops. Actually, that's perfect timing there. Not that I'm going to quit right away, but just to kind of show off what I'm talking about, since I'm talking about music here, let's play some music. So you don't actually have an in-game option to adjust the audio settings. That's only from the title screen. But since I've done it anyways now, we can turn the background music off, and I can show you what I mean by video game jazz playlist. Oh yeah, I got a bunch of Zelda remixes here too that I found around the internet as well. In fact, I'm going to let this play for just a minute while I go just make myself some tea. Okay. Oh, am I the old man here? I was born in, or I think Maze Whale's like a year younger or older than me. Anyways, I was born in '87. I've been playing video games since 1990. Cause yeah, I got my my NES for Christmas when I was 3 years old. So I've been at this for a while. I think, did the first 3 Final Fantasy games come out in the 80s? I mean, certainly the original did, because that's the one that we got in North America. Okay, that's cool. I am not the old man here. Oh, also, apparently we were on floor 10. I didn't realize we were going that fast. Okay, so now we definitely want to be taking our familiar around everywhere, because we'll be seeing a bunch of fire monsters here. I've certainly had a lot of adventures in video games, at least. Real life, not so much, but I'm actually fine with that. Or I guess life is what you make of it, so I can't really complain about having a boring life, because this is kind of the life I've chosen. But, you know, the whole playing video games thing keeps me really happy in general. I'd like to do as much more of that as I can get in. Well, the getting's good. But yeah, there seems to be, or actually my tea, I'm gonna go pour my tea, and we'll be back in just a second. So yeah, I'm kind of curious about the... Yeah, I've always been kind of interested in the age demographics of just Twitch and YouTube viewership in general. So as I understand it, the general audience on Twitch is like the teenage demographic. Like, yeah, teenagers and people in their early to mid-20s. But I get the sense that probably most of that is concentrated around like the big popular games like the League of Legends and Fortnites and what have you. Whereas personally, when it comes to the retro style stuff, naturally, at least I found all of my viewers skew a lot older than that, usually 30s to early 40s. Though with that said, I do get a weird kick out of seeing the odd kind of younger streamer playing a lot of retro games. I don't know what it is, but one of my favorite types of Twitch streams to follow are the ones where you've got kind of somewhat younger gamers, like people in their early 20s, say, just going back and checking out doing blind playthroughs of all the games that I grew up with. Yeah, a bunch of people doing blind plays of Final Fantasy and stuff out there. Yeah, all the 16 and 32-bit classics. Honestly, that's kind of still what I'm doing here too, as I do a lot of blind playthroughs of games from that era. It's just such a vast... There's just so many video games. Like, you could pick any particular niche of gaming, and just say, I'm gonna sit down and only play this type of game for the rest of my life, and never get bored, and never run out of material. It's like, for a while I've been thinking maybe I want to do mainly tactics RPGs from here on in, and looking into that, there's no shortage of tactical RPGs out there for me to spend the next many, many years just playing nothing but strategy RPGs if I wanted to, or I could say, I'm gonna just check out all the good games that are on Super Nintendo and Super Famicom, and there are hundreds of those to discover. Still finding new ones all the time. I still haven't played fucking Fire Emblem, so I'm kind of gonna combine both of those things at once, and at some point in the near future, I'm gonna do a run-through of a bunch of the old Fire Emblem games, similar to like I did with Shining Force. I actually find I'm the same way, Noli. Yeah, I go on binges of particular types of things, and then I get tired of them, and then I swear them off for a long time. Right now, I'm still on kind of a tactical RPG kick. So I'm just really interested in playing as many, yeah, or I guess SRPG is kind of the standard terminology that people use. I'll stick with SRPG from now on if I can remember it, just because that's what most people call them. Hey, we got a spell level. Yeah, we've just about evened out our spell levels with our familiar level now. But yeah, last year was the year of the Metroidvania for me. I played probably at least 7 or 8 different Metroidvanias last year, including replays of some of the classics. I did Hollow Knight. I did the original Metroid, I did La Mulana 2, I did Time Spinner. Pretty sure I did a couple others as well. Oh, this sneaky fuck was about to slam down on me again. Yeah, I think Orchid was always my favorite back in the day in Killer Instinct, but then again, I never really played fighting games properly. I've talked about this before. I mainly just rented them to gawk at the female characters, and that was pretty much my fighting game experience from, yeah. Killer Instinct, not so much. Killer Instinct, not really a great selection of, waifus or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, definitely starting with Soul Calibur and beyond. That was kind of my thing. So this is a lot of monsters. We're going to try and see if we can get the drop on that griffin before he wakes up. And we failed. So how about you just club these motherfuckers and we try to take them out before this griffin gets here? Oh, actually, okay, I'm curious to try this. Once the griffin gets here, I'm gonna try something out. Okay, I guess we only got 2 monsters now. This is gonna be a waste of a turn, but I want to see. Oh, he's running out of MP. This is gonna... Okay, we gotta feed him first. Oh, is he gonna die? This shouldn't do much to him. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. Confuses the enemy. We got 2 enemies here, so we'll see if he actually manages to confuse one of them. Oh, hey, it actually worked, but it doesn't actually work on all of the surrounding enemies, just the one that he's facing. Still, that's good to know. That actually can work sometimes. He's probably dying now. Oh, never mind. He's good, but he also just wasted. Is there some way to stop him from doing that? That's so annoying. You know, this is not going to be a surprising statement, given what I just said about my taste in fighting games, but Dead or Alive has legitimately always been my favorite. And not necessarily for the reason that I stated earlier. That was certainly the reason that got me into it. But just to play it, I really like just the way it flows and the counter system and everything. It doesn't have. It's probably the most accessible fighter out there, at least among the 3D fighters. Like Soul Calibur, I could never wrap my head around the move lists in that game. There's like a you look at the move list in Soul Calibur, and it's like you got 50 things that your character can do. Whereas, yeah, Dead or Alive, you basically just got to memorize a small set of counters for each character, and then you're basically set. Tekken I liked, or Tekken's certainly more accessible. That's more of a 2D fighter with 3D graphics. Like, there's nothing, at least unless they changed it for the more recent games, Tekken, there's nothing especially 3D about the gameplay of Tekken. But yeah, Tekken's a good one too. I don't even know who the girls are in that game. I guess you got Nina Williams, who never really appealed to me. There was the one girl with the... She was in Tekken 2 with the ponytail and the leather jacket. Not like a biker jacket, but like a brown, like kind of Native American style leather jacket. I always do the best in fighting games when I just spam attacks and button mash. Anytime I try to, anytime I actually try to play the game properly and have an actual strategy or whatever, or play reactively, it never goes well for me. In fact, I lose literally every time I try to actually play a fighting game properly. The only way I can ever win is by button mashing. And even then, I seem to be worse at it than average. Like, I'll button mash against other button mashers, and I will lose like 3 out of 4 games. Actually, I think her name was Sarah. I'll see if I can pull up an image for you guys here. Was it Sarah? Whatever. Oh, there she is. She's on the cover. She's got, yeah, the Native American style headband or whatever. What's her name? Could have sworn it was Sarah. This is driving me nuts now. List of Tekken characters. Michelle, that was it. It was Michelle, I believe. Yeah, there she is. Michelle Chang, apparently. So she's dressed like a Native American, even though her last name is Chang. Whatever. Maybe she's, mixed background or whatever. Yeah, it was Michelle Chang, yeah. Yeah, I think I was thinking of... Just the name that popped into my head was Sarah from Virtua Fighter, but yeah. I have not followed Tekken at all. In fact, I think the last Tekken game I played was Tekken 3. Or I guess I played... Was there a Tekken Cross Street Fighter at some point? I think I played that one. Oh, I feel like I'm so close to getting my magic levels with this guy up to the point where I can one-shot a lot of the monsters on this floor. Unfortunately, because I'm so close to one-shotting them, these guys are actually too weak to gain levels on. Ooh, this is where it starts to get tough. Honestly, there's no female character in Soul Calibur who isn't just really great and nice to look at. My favorite was Taki back in the day. I don't even know who I would say my favorite is now. You know, I really shouldn't be wasting this guy's MP on these easy fights. I'm actually going to give this to him just for the MP. Same with this. I mean, under boob is fine and all, side boob alright. Honestly, I guess we would call it over boob would be my personal favorite type. I guess that's just called cleavage at that point, but yeah. I'm old-fashioned like that, I guess. Seriously, I can't one-shot a frickin' troll? Oh yeah, INA has always been my favorite from Dead or Alive also. It's been so long since I played a Dead or Alive game, I actually don't even know who the new characters are in that one. You'd think I'd be all about that, but with the free-to-play model. Also, it looks like every spell level gives me a ton of extra damage. I wonder if there's a multiplier applied to that based on the strength of my training wand. Actually, we did the treasure loop on this floor, didn't we? So I guess we're done with this. Oops. So, okay, that's fine. Or actually, you know what? That was unnecessary. Okay, one-shot this guy now, please. Boo. I bet you we can get away without mixture magic here, though. That's the thing is, now that I kind of, you know, rentals aren't a thing anymore. I played a bunch of fighting games back when I could just rent them. Again, just to, you know, marvel at the graphics and animation and stuff, play through the story mode and gawk at the female characters and all that. It's less of a good value proposition, though, once you actually have to start paying full price for fighting games. So I have not really been into the whole fighting game scene for a very long time now. Honestly, I think fighting games are just good for characters in general. Just interesting characters in general. They're the roster of characters is really the heart of any particular fighting game. Like, that is the appeal, is having, yeah, one character that's your character, so you need a whole bunch that will just apply to a broad array of different people. And, you know, there's a particular type of character who applies, or who is appealing to the broadest segment of the gaming market, and so that is the particular type of character you tend to see a lot of in fighting games. I think Street Fighter was pretty great for that too. Like, even the non, you know, waifu characters are really great in Street Fighter. There was the dude with the blue cap on his head who oils himself up to do wrestling attacks on people. That guy was pretty cool. Dan's always super awesome too. I like Dan a lot. Actually, Makoto, she's not typically my type of girl, but for some reason I really dig Makoto in Street Fighter 3 and 4. Yeah, she was always my favorite. Yeah, I think we're beyond Barong feeding times now, and I just want to make a good run of this, yeah, a good tower run here. So we're gonna stop feeding pitas to Barong and give them to Mandara here. So was it that he had a blue hat, or like a blue, almost like bathing cap it looked like, or was that actually supposed to be his fucking hair? Gonna look up the guy's name now. I always thought it was like a bathing cap because of the way he oils himself up all the time, but maybe that was just, he just had blue hair. I have no idea what this guy's name was. What if I just type in Street Fighter 4 Oil Man? His name is Hakan. Hakan is the guy I'm thinking of. And yeah, just looking at him, like, there's no way that's his actual hair, right? Yeah, he's totally wearing like some kind of like rubber bathing cap or something. Although he has sideburns too, or is that a chin strap? You know, funnily enough, yeah, Google search for Street Fighter 4 Oil Man. Hakan is the first and only thing that really comes up. If I were to type in oily wrestler, maybe I would get some interesting Armika search results, but yeah. Oil Man is pretty safe when it comes to yeah, Street Fighter related searches. Oh yeah, I gotta go grab my tea now. That's been ready for a while. So, again, I just keep on thinking about this stupid game every time I get up to grab tea. But looking at the clock over there, I have 15 minutes. So in 15 minutes from now, it'll be too late for me to complete my Langrisser mobile dailies for the day. This will be the first day that I've missed out on completing all my Langrisser mobile dailies in like a week. Which is a good thing, I think. That shows that, I don't know, I'm slowly shaking this monkey off my back. This is gonna be super bad if he wakes up. Oh yeah, just Oil Man is not gonna result in Hakan. You have to go Street Fighter. Street Fighter 4 Oil Man. Or I guess Oil Man was a Mega Man boss, and Mega Man powered up too. Can we get him? No, we can't. So actually, you know what? I've never looked into this before. Have they made a demake of Mega Man Powered Up yet, where you actually get to fight 8-bit renditions of Oil Man and who was the other one? Oil Man and Time Man? Like, surely somebody's made that by now, right? Like, the Mega Man fan community would have gotten on that. I bet you they made that before Powered Up even came out. That's how long it must have been available. Yeah, Oil Man is indeed a Mega Man boss. He appears in Mega Man Powered Up, which is the basically a PSP remake of the original Mega Man. Tumna's not bad. We'll just use that the next time we see a monster. Okay, so I'm gonna do like I said here, and we're gonna switch this guy to follow just until I'm done with this guy. This will save out on a bit of MP. I think I might do that now. Now that my interest in Langrisser Mobile is apparently waning a little bit. Ooh! I'm not going to say no to a free Barong, especially with all this garbage in our inventory here. What do I want rid of? Probably Paralyze Wand. So that's crap, but we can feed it to him after we're done feeding him. It's like second breakfast. Is this a pita? No. We're just gonna feed this to him. That's actually really good. What's the next worst item we can give to him? Oh, Malicious Bell. Why do I even have this? You know, I think there's a Blaster Master sequel now, isn't there? Is it on Switch? I don't know exactly. Oh! Oh, that's funny. I thought it was a wake-up herb, but no, it's a herb that puts you to sleep. We're coming up on the picket floors. He's gonna... okay. So I want to keep my backup wind crystal here. Well, so much for that. Wow, this guy's tanky. Oh, these Garudas are the worst. You know, I never actually played through the original Blaster Master, now that I think of it. I've played it, but I did not complete it. I've never found a trained wand in the wild before. In fact, yeah, I never ever have found just found a trained wand lying on the floor of the tower. I've gotten one once before from Barong feeding, or once or twice, I think. And then, yeah, we got one again on this run from Barong feeding. Or was it just lying on the floor? I don't remember now. I'm pretty sure we got it from feeding our Barong. You know what? We're running out of MP on this guy. So let's just move up. This is a bad floor to hang around on anyways, with the Garudas hanging around. Although we found 0 eggs on this run, so maybe... You know what, we're going to explore this one thoroughly. We're going to explore thoroughly until we get an egg. Because eggs are what we're here for. Why did I do that? He would have stepped on that. He would have stepped on that, and then I wouldn't have to deal with him. But yeah, it's kind of funny just how the rare items in this game are so ridiculously rare. You can do, yeah, like 200 tower runs and never find a trained wand or a roche fruit or anything like that. Depending on how thoroughly you're exploring the floors, I guess. We kind of just started this, so before this I was doing a different type of run. So you might have seen on the save file how we've done 40 tower runs already, but before this I was doing a different type of challenge where it was actually kind of the opposite of this, where I'd only do naked runs, where essentially we just go into the tower with nothing but stuff we can buy in town. So I get a copper sword, I get a medicinal herb, and we don't use the vault or the monster hut or anything. No pets, no vault items. That's the rules. And I just basically tried to beat the game as many times as I could under those stipulations. I think we ended up with 2 or 3 victory runs before I kind of got bored of the challenge and decided, hey, let's go back to playing the regular game. And so, you know, just to kind of make it so that we have a goal in mind and there's actually a point to doing all of this, I decided that a fun challenge would be to try and collect every monster in the game. And also vary up our familiar usage so we can see... Oh, okay, so you caught the stream VODs then. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I'm not sure how many people actually watch... I just realized that it was a mistake standing next to these 2 copper coins. It worked out alright, though. We don't need 2... Or do we need 2? We don't need a trap loop. So yeah, this is the same save file that I was doing those challenge runs on. We're just not doing challenge runs anymore. No! Honestly, I might just want to speed my way up the tower through these picket floors too, because this is a pain in the ass. I mean, obviously Final Fantasy was the last one, right? I mean, it's right there in the name, Final Fantasy. So yeah, the first one was the last one. It would just make no sense to have a sequel to a game called Final Fantasy, you know? How come nobody's thought of that before? Clearly I'm the first person in the history of the internet to make this observation. But I would... If I had good money, I would wager good money on there being another Final Fantasy game after 15, for sure. Yeah, when did they start putting lyrics in Final Fantasy music anyways? Oh yeah, that game, yeah, was the development of Final Fantasy 15 was a freaking roller coaster. Yeah, I can't even remember what it started as, but it's certainly, yeah, changed shape a lot over the course of the years and all the previews and whatnot. Do we just elevator up here? We'll take this easy room here first. I don't like just running up to the next floor, because I want to explore thoroughly and find some eggs, because we're here for eggs. And we have found 0 eggs so far on this run. I still haven't played Final Fantasy 15. I'm certainly much less of a Final Fantasy fanboy in general than I used to be in years past. Although, honestly, Final Fantasy has never really been my favorite RPG series. Like, I've always liked the games. Like, really liked them. Oops. No, you get back in the bag. But, like, they were never my favorite RPGs. Like, back when Final Fantasy... But, like, back in the PlayStation era, my favorite RPGs were never Final Fantasy 7, 8, or 9. My favorite RPGs on the PS1 were always Lunar and Grandia and Valkyrie Profile. In the 16-bit era, I really liked... yeah, Final Fantasy 6 and then later 5. 4 I never really liked. Final Fantasy 4 is garbage. Honestly, the Final Fantasy games never really got good at all, in my opinion, until FF5. Anyways, yeah, 16-bit era, my favorite RPGs would have been Lufia, only mostly because of Ancient Cave. And then Super Mario RPG and Chrono Trigger are my other games that I like better than the Final Fantasy games on SNES. And then the PS2 era, I just don't like any RPGs on PS2 at all. PS2 is where the entire JRPG genre went to shit. I'm thinking real hard right now. Is there a single JRPG on PS2 that I liked in the slightest? I actually didn't mind Dragon Quest VIII. Dragon Quest VIII was reasonably alright. What else was good? Or I guess a lot of the non-traditional JRPGs. I really liked Radiata Stories. Was a really good time. God, was Radiata Stories my favorite JRPG, quote-unquote, of the PS2 era? Oops. I hit the wrong button again. The thing is, I played a bunch of them in the PS2 era, too. That was when game rentals were still a thing, so I definitely rented and played a bunch. I think it was... I want to say it was Rogue Legacy, but it wasn't Rogue Legacy. It had Rogue in the name. What was the one on PS2 that people were going crazy for? It was... I really want to say it was Rogue Legacy, but it's not. Rogue Legacy is something completely different. PS2, Rogue Galaxy. Thank you, Google. Rogue Galaxy was the one. Didn't like that one at all. You know... Star Ocean Till the End of Time was... No, I didn't like Till the End of Time. Yeah, did not like Till the End of Time. It was good for laughs. I enjoyed Star Ocean Till the End of Time just on an ironic level, I would say. The plot twist in the middle of that game is maybe the funniest, just the biggest laugh I've ever gotten out of a video game. Just ever. But it wasn't a good laugh. I felt like I was laughing at Star Ocean Till the End of Time more than I was laughing with it, you know? Oh yeah, Dragon Quarter. I love Dragon Quarter. I kind of categorize that one as more of a strategy RPG. But yeah, as far as just JRPGs broadly, yes. Dragon Quarter is probably Oh! Probably my favorite JRPG on PS2. I think I just want to get the fuck out of here. It is not worth risking death with all this good stuff in my inventory. Here he comes. I'm gonna let Mandara do his thing here, and if he can't beat this guy, then we'll just exit out. Actually, here's the thing. We can even help him out a bit. Help him out a lot, even, because he needs a fuck ton of help with this. Fuck just happened there? I heard like a rust trap sound effect. Breath of Fire 6 is a mobile game. I didn't even know that. That's the first I've heard of that. I didn't even know there was a Breath of Fire 6. That is so funny and sad. What can we get rid of here? I'm just gonna hold on to this until the next monster we encounter, and then I'll throw it at him. Honestly, I was sad enough to find out that, yeah, the new... Oh, there's so much bad news about Langrisser lately. Or I guess Langrisser mobile, you know, mobile game, it's better than nothing. Like, you can just think of it like, hey, you know, easy come, easy go type thing. Like, there was never going to be a real Breath of Fire 6. It was either the mobile game or nothing. But yeah, Langrisser mobile is not exactly what I want out of a new Langrisser game. And the fact that, hey, we finally did get, you know, new versions of Langrisser 1 and 2. Langrisser 2 in English, officially, for the first time. Really exciting. It's on fucking Switch, exclusively. And that's garbage. Both the fact that it is... Like, I guess that's a bit ambiguous the way I phrased that sentence. Like, oh, it's on Twitch, that's garbage. I could be saying either the fact that it's on or on Switch is garbage, or just the Switch itself is garbage. I mean both of those things at the same time. The Switch is garbage, and the fact that games that I want to be playing are being released on it is also garbage. And to be clear, just in case I upset anyone, I don't think the Switch itself is actually garbage. It seems like a fine console. I just think the concept of console exclusivity in general is garbage, and the Nintendo consoles in particular are the worst about that kind of thing, because they don't release their games on real gaming platforms. We're gonna Olim the next guy we find. Oh no. I can't believe this has happened. Well, I think I ruined it with that little screw up there. Yeah, I've been putting my inventory full of these, Well, okay, we might as well use the resources we have at our disposal here. So we'll see how Mandara does here, on his own, at an elevation disadvantage. He's actually doing alright. He might pull this out in the end. Good job, buddy. I think we're done exploring. We already found the egg on this floor anyways, so yeah, we don't have any reason to care about the other items hanging around in here. The annoying thing about the item loop is that it makes it hard to keep track of what rooms you've been in already. Apparently we haven't been in this one. But yeah, I've talked a little bit, or yeah, I guess just Langrisser is on my mind in general, thanks to the new mobile game. But yeah, big fan of Langrisser 1/Warsong, and especially Langrisser 2. One of my favorite strategy RPGs. Oh, I should be putting him in the bag if I'm going to just sit out here regaining HP. Oops. Okay, here's hoping we don't elevate up into anything nasty. I did it again. That's the 3rd time tonight. I'm just, yeah, putting in the wrong controller inputs all over the place. But yeah, I can't justify buying a console just to play Nintendo games for like $400. Plus you got your full price Nintendo games on top of that to get a Switch and play everything I want on it. That's like $800 right there. It's ridiculous. I can buy games on Steam, good games that are just as good as the ones on Switch for like 10 to 20 bucks a pop. Yeah, it's just an awful value proposition. I would never do it. So yeah, we're gonna get Mandara to... Actually, no, we aren't. Yeah, Mandara's kind of done. Yeah, so we're just gonna take him out to, take him for a bit of a walk. Kind of be our bodyguard while I try to... Yeah, this room can fuck the hell off unless I have a Holy Bell, which I do. So see ya, suckers. I'm going for the exit. Honestly, yeah, me saying that, yeah, the Twitch is a piece of garbage is obviously just not true. The reason it's a piece of garbage is because there's a bunch of games on it that look quite good that I want to play, but I don't want to spend $800 or whatever the fuck to be able to play them all. Actually, talking about run killers, you know what's, as opposed to run killers, you know what's a fun killer? Like a thing that just kills fun in video games in general? Speedrunning video games. We're just full of all the hot takes tonight. At least for me personally, I can't legitimately tell other people that they, aren't having fun with things that they're having fun with, but I don't know. Most speedrun streams just kind of look miserable to me. Oh! Oh! I bet you that was a red sand too. Fuck off. Hey, this is actually useful right here. This is exactly what we want. So our agility's increased. No! Okay. Okay, we're alive. We're alive. Let's just get the fuck out of here. Honestly, I feel I shouldn't give speedrunners a hard time. Twitch in general, it's rare to find a Twitch streamer who looks like they're having fun with the. I mean, I guess that's kind of a thing. Like, honestly, externalizing your fun is kind of a habit that you get into. Like, I don't emote a ton when I'm just playing games on my own. That's kind of something that you have to train yourself into, is to, yeah, just voice your emotions out loud while you're streaming. And honestly, a lot of the emotions that you hear out of a lot of speedrunners is just misery because, oh, I dropped an input. That means that we have to restart this 3-hour run now. That's the thing is, I love the speedrun exhibitions, like stuff like AGDQ and, the races and stuff are really awesome, fun to watch, but Yeah, the average speed... I don't know. It's been very, very rare that I actually find a speedrun stream that appeals to me. Usually, like, if I'm browsing for new Twitch streams to follow and whatnot, usually just seeing a timer on screen is an instant turn off. Like, I will click on a stream without a timer before I click on one that does have one. We got all kinds of paralysis on this floor, and I don't have a familiar to cover for me, so I think this run is over. We got so much good stuff here that I don't want to lose. So yeah, let's just safety exit here. We got, what, 2 eggs now? Or at least 1 egg. Gold, gold. I'll keep the sword just in case we want to use that troll. Yeah, I'll wait for a bigger ball before we start saving up a ball for teaching magic. Oh! Oh, what a run. Apparently we only got the 1 egg, but wow, what an egg. So Arachne here is one of the good familiars, one of the best, you might even say. It's one of those ones, just like Clown, where it's kind of just you win as soon as you find him. In fact, that was the way that I won my on my challenge. The first time I won that, I think, was just, yeah, I got an Arachne, and I hatched him in the tower, and we won. Just making double extra sure, as usual, that we aren't selling anything we want to keep. And it looks like we're good. So, we got 1... How many monsters do we need anyways? I should probably start making a checklist or something. Keep track of our progress. More importantly than a monster checklist, though, is what are we going to name this guy? Oh, he's got purple legs instead of blue. That is a weird change. Also, he knows D-Mirror, which is a spell, apparently. I bet you that's the Reflect spell, which I think is a spell ball you can get. So we got Ash, Shura. Arachne evolves into Ashura, so there you go. We got Shuren, Lopi, and Shiver. I don't really like any of these. I could come up... the 6 character restriction is so tricky. Man, I don't even... I've been considering selling my TV that I have. I bought this... I bought my current TV, like, back in 2004, I think. And yeah, it's been solid ever since. Still good, still works. And I've never had any reason to upgrade. In fact, I've been thinking of selling it just because I don't think I need a TV anymore. I can't remember the last... Or I guess the last time I turned on my TV would have been to play PS3 games. That's the only reason I ever turn on my television anymore, is to play PS3 games. I watch movies on the computer. And what else do you even use a TV for? I don't... Yeah, I watch TV shows on my computer. Yeah. Basically, yeah, the only thing I use my TV for is to play video games on consoles that I can't emulate effectively. What are we going to name this Arachne? I don't... For once, I don't actually... None of these names jumps out at me. I don't like any of my dictionary names here. Goodbye, Jim. Take care, dude. Whatever. He'll be Shorin, just because... Because I sure don't like any of these suggested names here. Man, I kind of want to save up my money for the casino, but I also kind of want to blow all of my money on garbage to stick inside my house. Now that I got the troll sword, I'm kind of tempted to try out a troll run right away here. Blau, I feel like, has kind of run his course, and we're not really doing the barong feeding thing anymore. Although we really should. We should just take barong up every time until we get like one roche fruit for every monster in the game. Or every remaining monster. That's what we should do right now, is make up our checklist of monsters that we have left to find. Although before that, I'm gonna stubbornly talk to this carpenter's apprentice to see if he'll let us build stuff. There we go. Okay, so we want to make an amusement center. Okay. Well, he seems to be making progress, at least. He's saying different stuff every time. So eventually, maybe he'll have some work for us. Or we'll have some work for him. Yeah, that's the way it works. Oh yeah, I got sidetracked on Langrisser Mobile. I think before I completely lose interest in it, I'll do another showcase stream where I just show off Langrisser Mobile. And then that'll be the last time I ever play that game. It's not half bad for a mobile game. It's certainly the best one I've ever played, although I don't play many of them. Oh, Gosh isn't even here anymore. He's just fucked off permanently. now that the diner has kind of conquered territory. Yep, he has no chance with Patty anymore, so he just doesn't care. I love how you can still run away without paying to after you've successfully started dating her. So we got one more slot for something to bring into the tower. It could be a PETA, it could be another familiar. Oh, I was going to do something else. Shoot, what was I going to do? Oh, right, yeah, we were going to count the number of monsters we have left to collect. So I'm pretty sure we've seen... What are we missing here? It's got to be something from that amusement center. Yeah, I'm just going to assume that the empty spaces here are just... So we know that some of them are evolutions. Like, I think there's 3 monsters of each type that can evolve. Or maybe it's not showing us some of them because we haven't killed them yet. Like, Kid Dragon doesn't actually show up here. And I believe that's because we haven't actually killed one yet. So, okay, Kid is one of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7... Ugh, this cursor is so slippery. Oh, you know what? The monsters are numbered. So yeah, it's just going to be 15. Oh, and this will be maximum, because apparently we haven't killed one of those before. So it's 16 minus... looks like 1, 2, 3 evolved forms plus Qn. So that's 12 fire monsters. Oh yeah, Snowman has an evolved form. I forgot about that. We should use him. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27... Maybe one of these? No, I think Glacier is the highest level water monster. So yeah, that's 27, 28, 29... Oh, Unicorn evolves. I forgot about that. 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 36, 37, 38, 39... Actually, not 39. So 38 monsters total. How many have we collected so far? Not counting Haikyun, because Haikyun doesn't count. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 out of 38. So we're a little bit less than halfway done. Or maybe a little more than 2/3 done. No, 1/3 done. Yes. Cool. With that said, oh, you know what? I had never heard of Tao's Adventure until another Azure Dreams fan came in and told me about it on a previous stream. Apparently that game is terrible, although looking up video of it on YouTube, it doesn't look half bad, and I'm kind of curious to try it out. It certainly doesn't look like it holds a candle to Azure Dreams at all, mind you. But just as like a generic mystery dungeon style roguelike, it looks like it might not be half bad. I'm kind of an apologist for a lot of terrible games in general. Like, I really like Mega Man X6, for example. Although not 7. 7 is legitimate garbage. What other terrible games do I like? I really like Final Fantasy X-2. It's actually my favorite in the series. I actually can't think of any other games that I would kind of acknowledge, that are kind of generally acknowledged as being terrible, that I actually really like. I generally have really good taste in video games, I think. There's the obvious, you know, quip that everybody thinks they have good taste because they like the things they like. Although, I just mean in the sense that my tastes generally line up with the gaming populace at large, with a few exceptions. Like, for example, people talk about how Steam reviews are like the worst thing to ever happen to video games. For example, you can see posts on Reddit and in discussion forums around the internet how Steam reviews are ruining gaming or whatever. I actually find them to be generally the most useful indicator in general of whether I'm going to like a game or not. My tastes generally align with what the Steam reviews say when it comes to any particular game. Like, give or take, like 10%. Like, a lot of my favorite games out there will only have like 80s or 90s, and a lot of games that I think are fine but not brilliant will have 90 to 100 rankings. But within, you know, 10 to 15%, I find Steam reviews to be generally accurate. You know, I can't even trash talk professional reviewers anymore because I just don't read them. Maybe they've gotten good in the years since I stopped reading them. But yeah, in general, yeah, I have found, yeah, pro reviewers, not a big fan. Especially the written reviews. There are some good YouTube reviewers out there. The problem is all the best YouTube reviewers don't review like modern games. There are people who will, they don't review new releases. Like all the best YouTube critics out there will review stuff like months or years after it comes out. But yeah, I remember, I think the thing that made me give up, and yeah, we're kind of done the stream here and I'm just kind of chatting and running around town for fun. It's like I got a little bit of time before I want to go to bed, but not enough time to do another full tower run. So we'll just run laps around town while I talk shit about game journalists. There were a couple reviews that kind of stuck out to me as like, okay, I'm done with this shit. These people are idiots and I don't care what they have to say. One of them... Oh, there was a line. You know what it was? It was, I can't remember the publication, but it was like a, I want to say it was US Gamer or something, maybe. Or maybe it was just IGN. Anyway, some big publication had an online written review of Valkyria Chronicles back when that was new on PS3. There was a bunch of just the combination of bad writing and misinformation and stupid opinions. It like all rolled into one. It was the worst review I had ever seen. First of all, he complains about the fact that there's no in-battle save. Just the battles are all super long, and there's no in-battle save, so you gotta start over from the beginning if you fail. And first of all, that's fine. You don't want to... If you have an in-battle save, you want a memo save. I think he specifically said that that's not what he wanted. He wanted like a full-on, just like save, reload, save scum type save. So first of all, that's a stupid thing to want. That ruins the whole point of the game. Like, you don't have to... It takes all the strategy out of a strategy game if you can just save scum your way through the battles. So you're an idiot for wanting that in the first place. Second of all, it's misinformation. Valkyria Chronicles actually does have an in-battle save, and it's not even a memo save. You can save scum your way through Valkyria Chronicles if you want. The feature that he complained about not being in the game is actually in the game, and it's not even hidden or anything. You like open up the battle menu and save is right there as like the third option. He had like a bunch of other misinformation in there too, I think, just as far as the way combat worked. Overstated the sort of real-time elements of the game, or the action-y. A lot of people back in the day compared Valkyria Chronicles to like a third-person shooter, called it like a shooter strategy hybrid, when there's really no third-person shooting whatsoever, except in as much as you lock your position and aim. But there's really no action elements to speak of. And the last thing was just the writing was terrible. I remember the line that stuck out to me was he said something along the lines of something like the third-person strategy action rocks harder than Metallica. And I don't think I even read the rest of the review at that point. I was just done. I just closed the browser tab, and I think that was the last, professional review I ever read from any of the major publications. I was just done at that point. It killed me. Valkyria, the tactical action of Valkyria Chronicles rocks harder than Metallica just killed game reviews for me forever, and I've never read another one since then. And it was kind of a last straw type thing. That was certainly the worst of the bunch, but I've been noticing terrible shit like that in reviews in general. I read a bad review of, I think, some Fire Emblem game, which, to be clear, I hadn't actually played. I couldn't say whether the review was informative or accurate or not. Or I can tell you that it wasn't informative just because a lot of the information they gave you was just kind of irrelevant. You could tell that it was by someone who just didn't know strategy RPGs at all, so the things they were talking about were just dumb things that no reasonable player would ever care about. I mean, that's not entirely fair. There are things that non-strategy RPG players might get bothered about, like in terms of the complexity or the ease of learning and stuff like that, which are problems that people who are into strategy RPGs just wouldn't have. Anyways, that was, my final straw on game reviewers. And incidentally, all of this was like years and years before the whole Gamergate controversy kicked off, which was convenient for me because I was able to just like sit the entire thing out, just like, oh, something or other going on with game journalism, don't give a flying fuck either way. I have been done with it for a very long time anyways, so you guys just have your little war off in your dumb little corner of the internet. I do not need to pay attention to any of it because I don't have a dog in this fight. So that was convenient for me, the timing of how all that worked out. I mean, maybe it was always bad. I used to like reading games magazines. like back in the day, only I didn't really read them for the reviews. I would mostly read them as kind of... The walkthroughs were actually my favorite part of games magazines back in the day. It's kind of sad too, there's some really high quality stuff out there, like better than the sorts of things you would see on game FAQs. They would have like full walkthroughs with like maps and pictures, like screenshots and artwork of the game. There was like really just amazing stuff, almost like proto Let's Play style. Like if you read some of the Let's Plays over on like Something Awful and stuff like that, it's kind of that style where it's kind of, you know, presenting the game to you, showing you all the stuff that's in there. It's really, really more of just like a text and screenshot based presentation of what's in the game, more so than like a strategy guide or whatever. Like outside of playing the game itself, that was the clearest way to get an idea of what a game was about. I used game walkthroughs to determine what games I would want to play far more than reviews. Like reviews were honestly, like I was a simple kid back in the day. Reviews, the smaller reviews were just like little blurbs. You'd have like a few paragraphs with one screenshot at the top, and it's like, what do I... Yeah, it's not enough to go on, unless you get like the big blowout reviews where you get like a four-page spread on something like Metal Gear Solid 3. Like the reviews are too brief to give you any useful information unless you really, really trust the reviewer's opinion. And there were a few who I liked actually. Generally, if I found a guy who would give good reviews to games that I liked, and bad reviews to games that I disliked, I would generally trust that person's opinion. Like there was a guy, I used to subscribe to OPM, the official US PlayStation, back in the day. Also, hi there, Ziltharion, hi there, Slade. We're kind of done with the stream right now, and I'm just kind of blabbing about the good old days of game reviews and magazines and stuff, because I don't have enough time to do another full tower run, so we're just running laps around town, getting some exercise before I go to bed here. But yeah, I'm trying to remember names now, but I can't remember any. But anyways, there were a couple guys at the official US PlayStation magazine back in the day whose opinions I kind of trusted, and I would check out games based on the ones that they gave good reviews to. I think there was a Joe something or other who was their main JRPG reviewer. My tastes tended to align with his a fair bit, so I would check out games that he recommended. Actually, let's just use Google. See, this is why I can't remember people's names and stuff, is because I never need to. I can just Google a name. Okay, OPM Joe didn't really work. Joe Rogan, pretty sure he didn't used to write for... Joe Ribicki, that was the guy. Oh yeah, dude, so you don't like the way I play Shining Force 2? Because I certainly got stuck at a lot of points. I can see how it would be frustrating if you know where I'm supposed to go. And, yeah, it would be frustrating to see me wander around the world map and get completely lost and stuff. Although there is one thing that I don't even feel bad about getting stuck on in Shining Force 2 that I think is just completely indefensible. And I guess I wouldn't be spoiling anything to tell you what it is. Anyone who knows Shining Force 2 knows what it is. It's the fucking tree. The fucking wood panel in the tree that makes no sense. Who would think to go there? Anyways. There's other stuff where I just like glossed over text and missed stuff because it was my own fault, so I can see how that would drive people crazy to watch that. But yeah, I wish that... I hate how the standard of game walkthroughs have become just plain text like they do on game FAQs. Steam guides are the same way these days, where it's... Or I guess you get the occasional screenshots, but it's not like the really high quality shit. Oh, as far as experience type stuff, I don't know, I can't remember that I had a problem. Oh, and if you're talking about... Yeah, I'm actually not sure I know what you mean by that specifically then. Like, in terms of over-leveling before you promote, that was a conscious choice on my part. I knew that you get better, that it's more efficient for you to level up a bit extra before promoting. I deliberately didn't do that because I was afraid it would make the game too easy. And I'm pretty sure the game was balanced around you promoting right at level 10 anyways. Or do you promote at 20 in Shining Force 2? I don't remember. I think it was 20. Actually, here's a question. Does Shining Force 2 have spillover XP? Tile effects being defense instead of your movement? I'm actually not sure I know what that even means. Tile effects being defense when it's actually your movement. Like, if you're talking the percentages on the tiles, I'm like 99% sure that that the terrain bonus on a tile affects your defense. I actually don't know a good way to determine what the movement costs are on a particular type of tile. Like, if you look at the walkthroughs for Shining Force, it's like every class in the game has different movement, has individually set movement costs for each type of terrain in the game. It's been a long time since I played Shining Force 2. That was a few months ago, though, so I could be misremembering. There's no way you're right about that, because the game even tells you that the percentage is defense bonus. Shining Force 2 Land Effect Guide. Blah, blah, blah. But on the map, there are various steps of terrain. Each of them has their own movement costs and land effect. Movement costs cause certain character types' movement range to change. When the land effect is high, it increases the character's defense and lessens the damage taken. Yeah, I'm like positive that this is right. That's the whole point of flying characters, is they do not get the bonus defense. So flying characters have no movement penalty for flying over terrain, but they don't get a land effect. In fact, if you fly a character over, or I guess that would be the same thing, but yeah, flying characters don't get they don't get terrain penalties, but they also don't get defensive bonuses. That's the whole downside of flying characters. It would also just make the game a lot less strategic. Like, a lot of the point of tactical games is finding the good ground and exploiting it to your advantage. Battle for Westnoth, which we played just yesterday, that's like a good 70% of the game right there is exploiting defensive ground, and that's the big thing about, yeah, Shining Force as well. That's the main way you exploit the terrain to your advantage, by yeah, setting up in the trees and whatnot. Are you right about that, Remiko? Pretty sure that... oh, you know what it was? There's two different types of movement. Yeah, so you've got... This is the annoying thing about Shining Force 2. So there are two types of flying. You've got flying, where you don't get a defensive bonus. I think Peter is a flying character. So yeah, he gets no movement penalty and no defensive bonus from terrain. Then you've got hovering characters, which get no movement penalty, but still get the defensive bonuses. Yeah, actually, I'm actually writing a guide right here, and I believe this is accurate. This lines up with my... Everything that's printed here, it lines up with my experience of Shining Force 2. And yeah, the defensive bonuses were particularly noticeable in my Shining Force 2 playthrough, because I was playing on super mode, where the enemies just do fuckloads of damage, and they did noticeably less damage when you've got like a 30% terrain effect. Like, it was to the point where my guys would get one-shotted without the land effect, and they would actually survive with a bit of HP if I had the 30% defensive bonus. Yeah, the damage... and I looked all this stuff up after I was done playing the game, and honestly, I reverse engineered most of it just by observing the numbers over the course of the game. Yeah, the damage formula in Shining Force is attack minus defense, and then reduced by your land effect. So if you've got a 15 attack guy attacking a 10 defense guy on a 30% land effect space, it would be... or actually, we'll make it easy. We'll say it's 15 versus 5 defense. They would do... So they'd be 15 minus 5 defense is 10 damage outgoing, and then reduced by 30% on the land effect, so that would be 7 damage. Like, you just try that out with those numbers, those rough numbers in-game, and it checks out. I mean, that's what we do here. That's what we do here, Noli. That is the kind of people we are. That's why I'm here and you're all here with me, for sure. I mean, honestly, that's why a lot of people are on Twitch in general. Again, there's kind of a few main subcultures within Twitch, and I feel like the main segment of Twitch viewers is entirely different from the types of communities that I frequent here on Twitch. Like, you've got probably the biggest segments of Twitch are like the main big games out there, like, and they're different types of games, but they attract the same type of audience. I'm talking like esports, LOL, Hearthstone, that kind of stuff. Your Fortnite crowd, like all of the big games out there that people stream and have all the big streamers on Twitch. Then you've got the speedrunning communities, which is the other kind of big thing on Twitch here. A lot of people watching speedruns, and those tend to be more, mechanics focused. So you'll see a lot of people who are into this kind of stuff on Twitch in the speedrunning community. Then honestly, the retro gaming segment of Twitch is kind of a smaller... It's not even really a segment of Twitch, it's just kind of like a niche within a niche within a niche. But yeah, you'll see a lot of mechanics-focused discussion among retro communities too, just because they're playing games that they know really well and have a lot to say about them. What the hell is this music here? What is... Oh yeah, this must be Ocarina of Time. Oh no, Twilight Princess. Oh, that's right, this is Midna's theme. Yeah. Anyways, we'll have more Shining Force in our future. Way down the line, once I've gotten the taste of Shining Force 3 out of my mouth. Not in a bad way, but you don't want to gorge yourself on the same thing for too long, you know? With that all said, I think this discussion has run its course. As has in-game Jasu here himself. He has run the course like a dozen times now. Just cycling around this town for no reason. That's going to do it for me tonight. Yeah, you guys can go over to my YouTube VODs, which I am actually getting caught up on. I've filled in all the information for those. I know I fell behind for a long time as a result of, frankly, my addiction to Langrisser Mobile. I've been playing that at work instead of processing YouTube VODs, which is normally what I would do at work. But I've got all those up to speed, and I'll be putting those up over the course of the next few days. Tomorrow is actually, probably going to be the premium disc. Yeah, tomorrow. We're going to do the Shining Force 3 premium disc, and then, depending on how long that takes, we might do some more Battle for Westnoth as well. Oh, thank you, Slade. I've actually got that set up. So I've got my Streamlabs donation page set up and everything. In fact, you can see that right somewhere if you're curious. If I can actually find the thing. Yeah, so I am set up for Streamlabs donations. I just need to make the little info box below the stream where I actually link to it. That's wrong. Here we go. Yeah, so I'm going to make a little info box below the stream there. The problem is, just for consistency's sake, I didn't want to just type it up or whatever. I want to make a little graphic with the picture of the Parodius penguin to go with it, just to keep it consistent with the other info boxes. So I'm probably going to do that tomorrow morning. I've got some running around to do tomorrow morning around town. And then before or after I do that, I'm going to make that penguin graphic. I've already got one picked out, and then I'll have a support the stream info box below the stream from here onward. Anyways, although with that said, probably don't donate right now, just because Streamlabs has not been doing a good job of showing my notifications on stream lately. So even if you do contribute something, it might not show up. Yeah, I'm gonna stream all. So yeah, to be clear, normally I'm not available Friday evenings, but my regular board game night has canceled. So we're gonna be doing an all-day Friday stream. So we'll have a good long while to yeah, play the Shining Force 3 Premium Disc on stream tomorrow. That is the plan. And that's the plan. Thank you all for watching. Oh yeah, I set this up a long time ago and I've been forgetting to do it. Just shout out the links and stuff in chat here. I used to do this all the time, but stopped doing it. Anyways, that's it for me tonight. Thank you all for yeah, coming out and watching and chatting and stuff, and I'll see you guys tomorrow or whenever I see you.